Hello, it is Monday, October 2nd. We have officially entered
Ooh.
October, Halloween month, spooky
Yes,
month,
we have
the month of my
spookies.
birth. Yeah, the month of my birth. So we can celebrate it
Ah,
all month. We can
yes,
celebrate
we
it all
can.
month.
Great.
John's birthday month.
And we are here to talk about the Challenge USA, the latest episode. This was a really good one. I'm really excited to talk about it.
Yeah.
So let's kick this sucker off. Let's get it going, huh? All right. So my name is John Dunphy, and as always, I'm joined by my festy besties, or my ride or dies.
Oh, yeah, don't take my intro line.
I don't know why I thought of yours. I don't know
Uh-oh.
why I thought of yours first over the one that I've been
I
saying.
was like, that's not the show
But,
we're on right now.
Yeah, my ride or dies, Gina Morgino and Kyle Petty. I'm very excited to talk about this episode with you guys.
Yeah.
I felt like this was a pretty spicy episode. I felt like.
Yeah, it's pretty meaty. It's pretty meaty.
Oh, but before I forget, just to let everybody know, follow us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod, and like Kyle likes to say, also follow us on Blue Sky. We don't have the little logo for that yet in our little socials down there, but check us out everywhere. Give us a like, a subscription, a comment. We would love to hear from you and love to see you.
A nice review on our audio
yeah.
onlys.
Absolutely. So I think for me, the three standouts from this episode, right, were Corey, Michaela, and Chris. Big episode for all of them. And I'd like to get started first with Corey, because something interesting before we got to the Daily Challenge was Corey talking about how obviously he's working with the vets. He's been working with the vets the whole time, but he also wants to set up another little crew for himself here. And he wants to work with the strong girls in the house. He wants to work with Tori and also with Desi, Michaela, and Chanel. So what do you think about Corey's gameplay here? Is this do you think he's making some smart moves by trying to like work with these other side of the house, outside of the vets?
I mean, diversifying who you're aligned with is only going to help you. If you stick with only the vets, like, I mean, how many times, I don't know if necessarily Corey falls into this lineup, but like the vets are only loyal to like a specific part of the vets. And then after a while, like they start chipping away at the people who are on the bottom. So if you're not in that like core little sector, like, of course you have to align yourself with more people.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. And that's always my only issue with this is that, Corey's like, oh, I'm going to protect this person and protect that person. It's like, but are they really protecting you? Like, I understand this game is a little bit different because, there were less vets. Challenge USA is definitely a different animal than what we deal with on MTV. But I don't know. It always makes me very, very concerned. And somebody like a Corey or even like a Fessy is saying like, oh, I want to protect vets. It's like, ugh.
Yeah. And I do consider Corey more, they're all vets, but Corey as more of an MTV vet along with Bananas and Wes than I do Fessy and Josh because they came from Big Brother. So
right.
But I don't know if that means that like a Bananas would save a Corey over a Fessy or a Josh.
Right. That's why I don't know how proactive we want to be about saving him. Like if I'm Corey, that's all. Yeah.
But all right. And then another thing that we had from Corey prior to the Daily Challenge was a nice thing that Kyle really likes. He likes all the family moments. We got this nice phone call between Corey and his kids and his girlfriend. So I want to just show you the phone call quick. Hold on.
Mama? Say, Daddy, I had Army crawl across the whole room. What? Oh, hi, Maya. Maya, come here. He wants to see you.
It's hard being away from my kids, honestly.
All right,
now Kyle leaving.
I know he's still there.
When I watched it on air, and that's
I know he's still there.
Now I left.
So before
the room.
before you give your thoughts on Corey and his family, though, here, just let me do this. So I know
And he's
it's
gone
still
again.
there. So I know,
Definitely
he's still
gone
there. So.
behind that one. Definitely gone. Get out of
So-
here. It's family time. How did I feel about it? Terrible. Because we all know that Corey's got mad family, especially in the MTV verse. Okay, so how does Cheyenne feel about the fact that her family is not being featured on this, and all of his other baby mamas sitting back talking about what you talking about? Like, what about us? I don't know.
So you didn't like it?
I did not like it. I did not like it. I don't like any
right.
family segments, and I most certainly did not like this one.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. This
You heard
has
it here
been
first.
another segment. Yeah, this has been another segment of Family Time with Kyle Petty. Okay.
Not the
All right.
closing bumper. Not the closing bumper.
I had to get your. I literally anytime I see any of these moments, I immediately say, "All right, that's going to be in the podcast."
It is a sweet sounding thing. It's giving real estate. It's giving home for the holidays.
Real estate,
right? Wouldn't that like a real estate agent would use that little sound that like to do some like promotional stuff, right? A realtor. Like, come on.
Oh man.
I'm right.
But yeah, so once we were getting all this Corey early in the episode, though, I knew it was going to be a big episode for Corey.
Mhm.
Which brings us into our daily challenge, which was slippery business. What did you guys think about this daily challenge? Give me your feelings. I need to know.
Whew, smoking hot. My God, seeing everybody greased up, just lay me down in the middle of that circle and just let them toss me around. Absolutely. Yeah, get me out of this circle. I dare you to try. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah.
This is
This
really
is a
on
sexy,
this is hot.
sexy competition.
This
Everybody
is
looked
hot.
good. The men, the women, they all looked hot. They all
they're
looked
all
hot. All right.
jacked. Of course,
Right,
they look good.
right. No clunkers in this group.
I was saying this is one of those competitions where as soon as they explained what needed to be done, I would be like, "Thank you so much for including me. You enjoy your competition. Goodbye."
I'm gonna take
Have a
the
good
L.
one.
Just don't
See
vote
ya.
for me. Thanks.
Yeah. I would have been absolutely terrified to actually.
Oh God, I would have been eaten
So
alive.
yeah, I would have been terrified of this, but it was a lot of fun to watch. Do you think this was the best daily challenge we've had so far this season? Would you rank it at that high?
Oh, well, no. I mean, it depends on what we're basing it on.
Yeah, there's so many categories of competition. It's kind of hard to.
Right. If we're talking about just getting our rocks off, well, of course.
Oh my God.
But I did most certainly enjoy that trivia. I don't usually like trivia, but I did enjoy the hanging on the glass and that whole thing. That challenge really does stand out to me, especially Tiffany's performance in that one. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, lots of credit to that challenge. That was a good time. I actually also enjoy that other swimming thing, swimming and going down under with the lock boxes and everything. I couldn't do it. Would not be fun to
Oh, and
do.
the word puzzles, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I find that one fun too. But this is definitely up there, sure.
Yeah, I thought this was a great one.
Yeah.
I mean,
and what
this
I thought
competition just made me insanely intimidated by every single person on the show, more so than I already was.
I
Like,
was so scared.
they were scary.
Oh yeah,
Right.
everybody there could absolutely kick my ass.
Oh, destroy me.
But so what I thought was interesting, we had the men go first, the women go second.
Mm-hmm.
You liked that it was just sort of like a free. Like I liked how both the men and the women, it started out with everybody, and then we came down to like a final two that still felt very exciting for both groups. But I felt like, did you like how it was everybody thrown in the beginning like that, or would you have preferred to see like a 1v1, 1v1 until we got down to the end? Did you like how it started out with the big group like that?
I do. Because I think if you do the like 1v1 or whatever, like until you whittle it down, then it gives people like Tori or like Fessy or like the people who are notoriously good at things like this, the edge where like they're gonna kick anybody's ass if it's one-on-one. But if it is like, you saw the girls, like they all were able to like go at Tori together and they took her out. If it was Tori against any of those women individually, there's no way they would have stood a chance. You know what I mean? So I think it like levels out the playing field a little bit more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I do think that some of them did stand a chance though. I like Michaela's a beast. Like I think Michaela
Sure,
and
but I
to
mean,
move, I think Michaela
Yes,
could have beaten Tori.
Uh-huh.
you know,
if it was
I'm not saying it
one-on-one.
would have been like a deadlock if they all would have lost, but like it would have been significantly harder if they didn't get
Right.
her out first. If they weren't able to
Yeah.
all like kind of gang up on her and be like, okay, let's get rid of her, and now it's a fair fight with everybody.
Yeah.
That's fair. I think I would have enjoyed the one-on-one thing if the picking was a little bit different. If we went to like that Big Brother, like veto style, like or HOA, any kind of comp style, where we're picking the next two after we won one. I think that's interesting. Like, you know how we had that line in that last competition, like the next up was like whatever,
Yes,
blah, blah. Like, so even if two people went out in one round, you can just now take the front of the line and throw them in. I think it'd just be interesting for more people to show their cards. I feel like we don't
That's
get
fair.
a lot of those in this, and this didn't really give us that. This obviously gave us that, you know, Chris is like public enemy number one. We just want to get him out. But where does everybody else lie in that? And the picking gives us that. And I'd like that in this world.
That's fair.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting, like how the men, you know, when they started, it was all the guys against Chris. It's like a lot of vets against Chris. Whereas for the women, it was all the Survivor, you know, girls against Tori. So it was like kind of like the vets picking on a newbie in the men's round, and then like the newbies picking on a vet in the women's round. I just thought it was weird. Like it was funny, that little mirror image there to me. But the battles were amazing here. I was super impressed by Corey. Obviously, he won for the men, but just I think it was Desi. I believe it was Desi who made the comment like Corey really didn't sit out any of these rounds. Like you saw Fessy sitting out a number of rounds, really not participating. And if I'm correct, you know, Desi said like everyone kind of expected Fessy to win because he's such a big, strong guy. He's kind of been sitting back, and Corey's been participating every round, and he's gassed. So like, you know, everyone's expecting Fessy to take this home. And Corey pulled out the win, took out Fessy. I was super happy for Corey here, honestly.
I was really happy too, especially because I didn't think it was going to happen. I definitely did agree that he was probably a little bit gassed out, and Fessy was just standing there calling a lot of those shots.
Even before we got to the end, I was like, Fessy is taking this competition. Like even before we even had made it that far.
What did you think, though, of Fessy basically being the one to stand there and call the shots? Was this a bitch move or good gameplay?
I mean, they all let him do it, you know, like none of the men were coming after him. They weren't trying to get him out and be like, dude, shut up. Like now you're out of here. Like they were all just kind of going along with it. So you can't really fault him for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it was sort of like inevitable in a way. Cause it's like it's smart for Fessy because he gets to save his energy for the end because he'll make it there and he'll have the most energy. But like at the same time, like I understand why somebody one-on-one, if they didn't have help, right? If it wasn't this wasn't a Chris situation where everybody was ganging up on Chris. So like no one's going to help you take down Fessy because Fessy's so big and strong that you don't want to go against him one-on-one. And then like you're also just not going to have a situation where everybody gangs up on Fessy because Bananas is working with Fessy, Corey is working with Fessy, you know, like they're all working with him. So it was like a perfect storm for Fessy.
Yeah, truly, I would rather self-eliminate than go against Fessy in this competition.
Yeah.
I would happily go against Fessy in this competition.
But we found out that Corey could have gone one-on-one against Fessy at any time and taken him out. So I'm super happy for Corey in this. Yeah, and then the women's side was also super fun. All of these women are such badasses.
That was insane. Insane.
I think it was Josh who made the comment like, I would rather go against the guys for 10 rounds than go against any of these girls.
They were scrappy as hell, dude. They were nuts.
I saw kicking
in the chest. Yeah. I was like, oh my goodness gracious. Like, come on, let's be ladies.
I literally wouldn't even go in. I'd be like, y'all duke it out. I'm taking the L. I'm sorry.
I'll do the oil so I can say I was part of the experience, but that's it. I'm not actually getting in the circle.
Yeah, I will get in the circle and immediately jump out and be like, oops, I lost.
Oops.
That's so crazy.
Oh,
guess you have to play without me.
Damn it.
I also enjoyed Chanel in her little like confessional right before the competition started when she was like, I think I'm going to put hands on Cassidy first because she tried to call me out at the last elimination.
Right.
And we got a little flashback of that. So that was funny. But what did you think of the Chanel and Michaela battle when we got down to the final two for the women? Because they were literally like flipping each other over. I mean, like this was insane. Like this,
I think
it
it was
looked like we were watching
Tori
an
was like,
actual
are they-
UFC match. Like that's what
Yeah,
it looked like. Like
Tori was like, have they all been trained in WrestleMania? Like, what am I looking at right now?
It's really impressive.
really
It's
impressive.
crazy.
Yeah, and like good for Chanel because like I don't think she's had the best like challenge like physical performance that we've seen. Like she's always kind of like been middle of the road, never really in danger, but certainly not a front runner by any means. So being able to hold her own against Michaela is certainly no
Forget hold her own. That was anybody's game. She was dangerously close to taking that.
I honestly, I like Michaela, but I honestly was rooting for Chanel because I do want to see her get a win because I like her. I think she's a good competitor, but she just hasn't been able to break through, with any daily challenge wins. We haven't seen her in elimination, so like, yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see Chanel get a chance to shine a little bit.
I'm only rooting for Chanel when she's not up against Michaela.
It's fair. That's fair. Very fair.
Sorry, girl.
So we have Corey and Michaela as our two winners. Michaela's second daily challenge win in a row. And it feels like it's been a long time since we moved to the individual stage of the game, but it's only now been 4 daily competitions that we've had. And it's funny because for the women, since we moved away from teams and to an individual game, the only 2 women in the house that have won a daily challenge are Tori and Michaela. Tori won back-to-back, and then Michaela won back-to-back. So they definitely have a little bit of a rivalry going here, even though Tori has been trying to work with Michaela and Desi and Chanel. So that kind of brings me into the next part of this. So we get back to the house, right, after the daily challenge. And the last time we saw Michaela win, we saw her pitching Tori as the target she wanted to go after. And she told Desi and Chanel about it. So we knew the same thing was going to happen here. Now, what do you think about this? So, because Michaela, now, obviously, I love that she wants to make a big move, but with the numbers we have in the house, with who's left in the house, Michaela's safe. So you want to take a big shot and you can feel so like confident that you're not going to have to go up against Tori, but your 2 biggest allies in Desi and Chanel are at very great, risk here. How do you feel about that dynamic of like the 3 of them working together, Desi, Michaela, and Chanel, but Michaela really pushing super hard that Tori has to be the nominee, even if it puts one of Desi or Chanel at risk? Do you feel like Desi and Chanel should kind of like step up and be like, all right, I'll go after Tori, or because that's what their complaint was that you're putting us at risk. We're supposed to be your allies. I don't know. I could go either way here.
I could go either way too, because we definitely are at that point in the game where you've already erred, right? Tori should have gone a long time ago, but now here we are. So you have
She's
to make
only
a
been
decision.
in what, one? Like one of the first eliminations, the one with John A. That was her only one, right?
I believe so. And I didn't even remember that, so good on you.
I just remember her throwing around like a freaking rag doll.
Yes, that does sound very familiar. I think the concern at this point is like, so whether or not you go up against her in an elimination, win or lose, you're gonna see her in the final. Like the girls are in a different spot with her.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. Like, are we awarding 2nd and 3rd place prizes like we do in MTV? I don't think we are, based on
I don't think so.
The original Challenge USA. So I don't know. You might as well give it a go now, because you don't now, she's just going to win later. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Especially
I understand
since
the girls
we've
not wanting to be the one to go against her and be responsible for this, but at the same time, like I don't know that Michaela is necessarily wrong.
Well, it's also, like you just said, aside from Michaela, the only other woman that has won these individual challenges has been Tori, and she won a bunch of them when they were still in teams. So it's like, if you don't take the shot when someone else wins a daily, the odds are she's gonna then go on to continue winning dailies. Like, I don't know
Right.
what the benefit is to keep her if you don't have to, especially at this stage.
Right. Unless do we think that maybe Michaela is the one that is best suited to take Tori out of this game
Well,
pre-final?
you see, I'm glad that you asked that, because that is kind of the other side of this that I was thinking about as well. Of like, let's say Michaela wasn't the Daily Challenge winner. If it was Desi or Chanel, and it was one of them that won, and they said, I want to nominate Tori, would Michaela feel as comfortable with that? Would she step up and be like, if you nominate Tori, and I get the votes, like, I'm happy to go against Tori? Like, do we feel like Michaela would be confident in being like, all right, I'll be the one to take her on?
Right.
Like,
honestly,
if
I
the shoe
low-key
was on
feel
the
like
other
she
foot.
might. I kind of
And
feel
I
like she
wouldn't be
might.
surprised. Yeah, like, I would love to get into the mind of Michaela, because I wouldn't be surprised if she did say that. Like, like, yeah, I'm not afraid to go for it, but it's hard. But it's hard to sit there and be like, not knowing that. Like, it's very easy for Michaela to say it now because she's safe.
Sure.
She's not the one that has
Right.
to do it.
Right.
But I'd like to see if the shoe was on the other foot. What would Michaela be saying if it was Desi pitching this idea, and Michaela knew that she was one of only 3 or 4 women in the house that would, have to go against Tori in this elimination that's right up against the, the final here starting. So,
Right.
but I don't know.
Yeah. All interesting.
So the deliberation, though, got a little feisty too between Corey and Michaela, because Michaela went in right away, said that she wanted to go for Tori. Corey said, I don't want to put Tori in because Tori's one of my numbers. Yeah, Tori's one of my numbers. She wouldn't say my name, so why would I want to throw her in?
Right.
And it kind of piggyback off of the, earlier in the episode when Corey was talking about how he wants to have this strong female crew of Tori and Desi, Michaela, and Chanel. So, like, the fact that they're not working together and that's who Corey wants to create this new crew with is just funny to me. But so any thoughts on this deliberation, though? Because here's what I was confused by too. We saw a little confessional where Michaela kind of broke off and was saying, like, I don't understand why Tori and Michelle are so protected by everybody. And once Corey shot down Tori, I would have thought, like, maybe why doesn't Michaela then try to pursue Michelle? And Corey even said in the deliberation, like, he was open to Cassidy or Michelle being the woman's nominee. So I felt like it was kind of weird to me that Michaela was just then like, oh, fine, you want to do Cassidy and Tyler? Like, that's what we'll do, whatever. Like, I feel like if she had pitched it in a way that was like, you're not going to say yes to Tori, so fine, we don't have to do Tori, but can we at least do Michelle and Tyler? Something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I was surprised she didn't fight a little more for that if she feels like Tori and Michelle are like the 2 biggest targets, because she's been saying she wants to get a strong person out, and then she was just like, yeah, fine, do Cassidy. And I'm like, well, doesn't that kind of go against everything that you've been kind of fighting for here? That's why I feel like some of Michaela's like strategizing has been like a little bit sloppy here, where she's like kind of butting heads with a bunch of people, but not actually like making any progress on what she's trying to do. Like, I don't know.
At this point, I don't think there's a weak women's choice, though.
True.
I think everyone is strong. There's just stronger ones. I certainly get Corey's point in all this, because if we're playing this in duos, I don't want to get stuck with some clunker of a lady, right? And the same with the girls. Like, they want to make sure that they're going to be running this final with people who can, run it with them. I think where Michaela is starting to run into problems, and it certainly came up later on in the episode, but, Michaela looks at the game so much like a game. And it's not necessarily wrong, but I think it rubs people the wrong way because so many of these people play so emotionally. So when she speaks in such a black and white kind of a way, like, this is what I want to do, this is what we're doing, here's the facts. And it's like people don't really jive with that. So I think Michaela's having a rough go for that reason. And I think she's always going to have a rough go when she's having these strategic conversations, because I don't think she's ever part of a smooth conversation when they're talking about social things. And It's because of how she sees the game.
She's so game oriented.
Yes, because I think Cassidy even mentioned that later. She goes, "You don't play with any emotion," and it's like, well, should you? Like when I play Uno,
Always back to Uno. Always
because
goes
it is.
back to Uno.
I just feel like it's the best example. Like when you shout Uno, like I'm gonna do everything I can to make you draw a couple. You know, like that's just what it is. Like that's the game. It has nothing to do with how I feel about you outside of here, but like, you know, these people play just so differently that I think she's always going to run into problems like that unless she can find a way to soften up and act like it's almost like she's like a young Tiffany. You know, she's got to learn how to like take what she knows because she's so strategic and she's so good in that way. Everything she's saying, you're like, I agree. She's just got to find a better way of putting that to people to make people agree with her. And that's where Tiffany definitely has a leg up in that.
Sure.
Yeah, if she can learn that with her already, like, you know, her physical prowess, Michaela would be unstoppable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't the question, but that's where I went. So,
but you're right. You're right though, because like even with the whole what we were talking about before, with Michaela talking to Desi and Chanel, right? If she had pitched it in a way of saying like, listen, I want to nominate Tori, so we all have to vote. We all have to vote Cassidy to set it up so that it was definitely Tori and Cassidy going in or something like that. Maybe Desi, but she doesn't go to that, way. Like she just hears Desi and Chanel talking about like, well, you putting Tori in puts us at risk. And instead she's like, well, we have to bite the bullet. Like she doesn't actually she just comes off like cold in a way to her own allies where it's like, try to frame it in a way where it's like, no, we're going to put Tori in, but then we're going to make sure we stack the votes on Cassidy. So you'll be fine. Like,
right. It's like, girl, you're not wrong. Just sweeten up. You know,
right.
Sit down, a little Tootsie Roll, have a quiet moment, just suck on some sugar and hush. Let the seeds you laid socially, let them germinate on their own. Stop forcing it. So it's like she's like standing with the watering can, just like aggressively watering it. It's like, slow down, she gonna grow. She gonna grow. Just hold on.
Even the conversation in deliberations that she had with Corey, she was like, well, why don't you want to do Tori? And he was like, because she's one of my numbers and this and that. And he's like explaining himself. And then she's like, I feel like you're not hearing anything I'm saying. And he's like, I just don't agree with you. Like, why are you arguing with me? Like,
the thing is that like I talk like she does. And that's why I get why she's having a hard time. Because people don't always see things my way.
Sure.
Either. And it's like, I'm so sure I'm correct, but how can I make you say it? And like you fall into this trap of this, like, well, if you don't agree, it must be that you don't understand what I'm saying. So I have to because
you clearly don't get it because only an idiot would disagree with me. So
right, whatever I'm saying is so brilliant that I must be failing you in delivering it right. So I gotta try again. I gotta switch it, and I feel like that's what she does. It is like, no, girl, you're just not doing it right.
Yeah.
This is very funny.
But we had an interesting conversation also because Corey then went and told Tori that Michaela was throwing her name out. I think Michelle was there also and some other people. And that's where this room sort of started to say, all right, Michaela wanted to put in Tori and, but the votes came out, Tyler and Cassidy, and Michaela is now trying to ensure that it's a girls' day.
Right.
And in this room, Tori and Michelle and Corey and some of them were saying, okay, well then we'll make sure it's a guy's day then. And they were all starting to plan to put their votes on Chris. But see, and that's another thing, because something that Desi brought up was that Tori, when she won her 2 back-to-back daily challenges, she protected Desi and Michaela and Chanel. So like, this is what I mean too. Like, Michaela's getting sloppy, where it seems like she got into an argument with Corey. Now she's pissed off Tori, who didn't get nominated. She kind of like was rubbing Desi and Chanel the wrong way with how she was handling, how she was talking to them. I feel like she's starting to like make a lot of enemies with people, but none of them are going home. Like it feels like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
But okay, we also saw in a room. It was Desi, Michaela. It's the Strong Girls Alliance. I keep saying all their names. I'm just gonna say the Strong Girls Alliance and Michelle were all planning to vote for Tori, right? So they thought we're gonna get 4 votes on Tori. But Michelle, we found out, was not really 100% on board with this. And she did not vote for Tori. Tori only got 3 votes. In the arena, we had 3 votes for Tori, 1 vote for Chanel, and 6 votes for Chris down in the arena. So did Michelle vote for Chanel?
I honestly don't know who Michelle voted for.
Because I feel like
Michelle
this is kind
went
of weird.
against whatever the majority.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't what they wanted her to vote, but I don't know what it ended up being.
Well, so we know that Tori got the 3 votes. So Tyler voted for Chanel. Okay. Tyler voted for Chanel, Kyler says. So Michelle voted for Chris. Because I was trying to figure out like how the votes actually fell. Michelle voted Chris. Okay. Because in my head, I was like, wait, did Michelle vote for Chanel? Because like, why would she vote for one of her alliance members?
You know,
Right.
it
Like, if she
definitely
wanted to go
wasn't what
against
they
Tori?
wanted her to vote. I just don't remember, because she's gone against like what people wanted her to vote a couple of times now.
Yeah. Okay. Tyler voted for Chanel. Okay. Interesting. So we ended up having, it was Tyler and Chris in this elimination, which was barrel tag. How'd you like this elimination? It was each, 2 rounds here. Each competitor had their own barrels and they had to play tag. So, but they could not touch the ground. Kyle, what's going on up there? It's so distracting. So we had our 2 competitors using their barrels to get around this ring. And, they would have to move. They were standing on one. They would have to take one and move it and then, slowly move barrel to barrel and chase each other around this ring. Did you like this? Did you like this competition?
It was fun to watch. I would never wanted to participate in this. This looked like absolute hell.
I liked watching it. I thought it was
Yeah,
like a fun competition, but yeah, playing in it is probably a disaster.
very fun.
Like,
to
please
watch.
leave me alone, please. Like, just like
Yeah.
throwing the barrels in front of you.
They were both pretty quick. In the first part of the game, Tyler managed to tag Chris in 1 minute and 52 seconds. And then in the second round, Chris edged out Tyler by tagging him in 1 minute and 20 seconds. Now, what really struck me in this was that it felt like Chris just continued to get stronger and stronger and stronger, like where someone else would get more and more fatigued. Chris seemed to go like faster and faster as the game went on, which was wild to me.
Yes, that is true, but it was also Tyler's strategy of how to try to get away from him. He was focusing more on distance than on speed. So he kept trying to like put the barrel as far away as he could to try to just make a bigger leap, which then took him more time rather than like in short bursts, just kind of like going right after the other. And I think that kind of set him back.
But I feel like even like Chris was doing this, like these grunts, like the way he was picking it up.
Just, both things are true. 100%.
Like it was just like he was moving. I could not believe.
No, both of those things are true. Chris was
going.
A beast. Yeah.
You are not just going to get this man out with a couple of barrels and people are saying you're it. Okay, he's not going to have it. Okay, he's in this game to stay. But like, I have to also add though that there is some potential for shenanigans here. Like, I don't like that there's no public timer. Like, why can't we see things? Like, I don't know. Like, production is always getting to pick and choose how they want this to end. They can tell us any old time and just say that.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, if there is a timer, they can just fudge the numbers on that too. Like if they put a timer on screen, they could be putting any time that
Well, I
they
mean,
want
like,
to
why
put.
can't they be like, like, I don't know, like any other like regulation sport game, right? We
Oh,
want to
like a
keep saying
physical
that,
timer, like on,
yeah, like
like
right
in the
on the
arena. Oh,
wall.
okay. I thought you meant
Yes.
like edit it in, and I was like, they would just fudge those numbers too.
No, just put it up on the wall, just like they do
Sure.
with any other thing. They want to say the challenge is supposed to be the fifth sport, right? That was their big thing during one of those MTV promos. So let's treat it as such. Give me a basic ass red on black clock, and let me see that sucker tick off. And then we'll see what's really going on. And then, like, if you got a minute and 20 seconds and you start to exceed it, you already lost. It don't matter. We don't have to go any further. That's it. You lost. Then we don't get a repeat of this West situation. We don't have to have any kind of questions around Chris's win. Like, it's just, we just feel good all the time because we know it's fine.
Mhm.
There's that. But I'm very happy with the way this turned out. Like, love King Chris. Okay, love him.
Every week that goes by, I feel more and more confident that Chris is going to end up winning this thing.
I would be fine with
I
that
wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
at this stage. And based on what we know about his Survivor career, sounds like he needs this for the clout. Because no one wants to give him his
For the
flowers for
clout.
having won his season, right? Because everybody wants to say, like, oh, well, you didn't play half the game because you were, on Exile Island or wherever he was. We didn't want that season. Sorry, y'all. But what we've heard, it sounds like he's being discredited a lot. So, like, let him have this win so he,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely earning his flowers. He's won how many eliminations now?
I think 3.
Countless.
Yeah, I think 3.
As John counts. So that's the gag.
Countless.
And so with Tyler's exit, obviously we know him from Big Brother.
Mhm.
I feel like we were all Tyler fans in the very beginning. I haven't really been a huge Tyler fan lately, but what did you think about his first season on Challenge USA? Anything challenge related? He was in 2 eliminations. He did win 1. He competed and took out Monty.
And that was a rough one too.
Yeah, so that was that Too Cool for Spool or something like that. So how do you feel about Tyler's?
3 hours or something?
Yeah, something crazy like that. So what do you think about Tyler? And TJ had very nice things. Looks like Chris has won 4 eliminations. Lewis, Sebastian, Wes, and Tyler. Wow. Thank you, Kyler. Always there to make sure we're getting the facts right,
Built-in fact checker. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
So what do you think, though, about Tyler's performance on the first season for him on the challenge? TJ also had very kind words for him, saying he was the most chill dude he ever met, and he really hopes to see him in the future. So what do you think?
I mean,
he
held his own. Yeah, he did a really good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be far more excited about a Tyler return to the challenge and a Tyler return to anything Big Brother related.
Yeah, I feel like Tyler doesn't get the shine that he necessarily deserves for his competition prowess on Big Brother because he was on the same season as Casey. And Tyler definitely did flourish in his social game, like aside from jury management or whatever. Like the way that he socially navigated through the house was definitely the more impressive thing, but he was no slouch in competitions then either.
That's also very fair. Yeah.
And finally, when do you think we can expect the Tyler Crispin and Alyssa Snyder wedding to take place?
Hopefully never.
Are they still together even?
I was like, are they even?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
What is that?
I have no idea.
Also,
yeah.
one more quick thing. I saw this comment from Kyler, and I do not know what it is in reference to.
Yeah, I don't remember either. Does John know?
I'm not sure.
I don't remember him saying anything after the competition.
That's right. I'm sure
Kyler, help us.
Yeah, Kyler will clarify.
Well, while we're waiting, we got to do this because it's Monday.
What's that now?
Oh, no.
Monday.
Got to always make sure. Honestly, I say it. Oh yeah, we got to do this because it's Monday, and meanwhile we'll be doing it on Thursday. So
Who cares?
You've done it every day of the week.
I knew exactly what it was. I just like to act like I don't. Makes me very happy. As we wait for Kyler's clarification, I will also add that I really wish that we were seeing more of Michelle's game. Okay, because
Mm.
the first time that we saw Michelle in this game, Michelle was not getting any kind of credit. No one wanted to work with her. She was like public enemy number 1, 2, and 3. Now all of a sudden, like these vets are talking about, no, I gotta protect Michelle. I gotta protect Michelle. Since when? Since when? Since when is Michelle in the middle of anything? Right? She was always like bottom of the pack. Now it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know who to vote for. What am I doing?
She's
Everybody likes
also,
me.
yeah,
What?
it's not even just that. Like she's also consistently been a rogue vote. So it's like, who are you actually working with? Because you're turning left and right on every alliance you
Exactly.
have.
She's doing whatever she wants, and no one cares. Like that's what's so
Right.
interesting, right? And this is not me hating on it. Like I'm happy for it. She won her
Mhm.
season of Survivor. I am a Michelle Fitzgerald fan, but like I don't know when these tides turned. Because she didn't enter the
Yeah.
game as a vet, right? She entered as just like a basic ass and a bottom of the barrel player. So it's like I don't know, when did you rise from the
I
ashes?
completely agree. I
Yeah.
completely agree because I feel like it was just like, weren't we just watching Ride or Dies where it was Michelle and Jay and the vets were targeting them week
Bang,
after
bang.
week after week?
Get in that
And it,
elimination. Get in
yeah.
there. Get in there. And
And
now
I
all of
know
a
that's,
sudden,
yeah.
I gotta
And
protect my girl.
I know that's how it's been like for Jay. Jay has always been a target in any season he's performed in. But it wasn't
Right.
just because of Jay and Ryder Dies. Part of that was Michelle. I remember people talking about this. And even in this episode, when Michelle decided not to vote with the Strong Girls Alliance and she didn't put her vote on Tori, we got a confessional from Desi saying, in true Michelle fashion, she, puts her vote somewhere else. And it's like, so that's what I'm used to hearing about Michelle. But for some reason on this season, everybody's talking about, Michelle's being protected. Nobody can go
Right.
after Michelle.
They're
It's
still
very
down to
interesting.
clown. It is interesting. Bring us feeds for the challenge. Like I want to know what Michelle is doing behind the scenes, that is giving her all of this street cred,
Yeah.
across the board. Is she in 39? We haven't done our preseason chat on
I don't
that. We
remember,
have
but I
not
hope so.
drafted people.
I feel like I saw her picture.
Yeah, I don't totally remember. That'll be interesting to see too, to see if some of this Michelle camaraderie carries over. I would also love to be like do a deep dive and find out what the filming dates were. Did some of this change based on her in 39? Do people like
She
her
is.
better because of that?
She is
Yeah.
on 39.
Kyler also confirms. So yeah, really interesting. Can't wait to see more from Michelle, like for that reason. She's definitely doing something right. And I
Yeah.
wish we just had some more context around it.
So wait, did 39? Sorry, you just said this, but 39 happened before USA 2?
Oh, I don't know. I don't actually know
Oh.
when anything was filmed. Because I feel like the challenge is just like one big lie in a way. Because we also know that Challenge All Stars 4 was already filmed. That was supposed to be Cara Maria's big return, but now she's showing up on this first, like 39 first. And it's like, so that confuses me. When are we ever going to get that All Stars? So I don't really know what the challenge is doing.
Yeah.
So no.
All right.
Here's Kyler's question. So Johnny said, we all love seeing Chris take everyone out, but now who's going to take this guy out?
Oh, that's what Johnny said at the end of the episode. I do remember him saying something like that. Yeah, I do remember him saying something like that.
So what do you think?
It's so hard. Yeah, I don't know. Like he's literally won 4 eliminations on this season. Like, what is going to be the thing to send him out?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So much of it depends on what the elimination is and stuff like that. Like, because like I'm sure there's a ton of Chris seems to be, he has a lot of different types of skill sets. It seems like there's a lot of eliminations that he could perform really well in. I still think if it's a hall brawl and it's Chris and Fessy, Chris is going home.
Well, I don't think anybody's
hold on now, though. I don't know anymore.
Against Fessy in a hall brawl?
But Chris, this is not a man that has no muscle.
Saying no muscle, but have you seen Fessy?
Girl. I have. I've been seeing Fessy since go, okay? But Chris is also not anyone to sneeze at. Like this is a larger man too. He's got
Oh
those thick
yeah,
muscles too. Like I don't know, that could be a whole brawl for the ages. I
I
think he'll
agree.
definitely give him a run for his money. Like I'm not gonna count Chris out immediately from that conversation.
I
Um,
wouldn't sneeze at Chris. I wouldn't. I
right,
wouldn't sneeze at
right.
him. But I still think he loses in a hall brawl to definitely
I
Fessy.
think it would be a pretty solid matchup, but I don't think anyone's taking out Fessy in a hall brawl.
I think he's got a higher percentage than others to beat
Sure.
Fessy in a whole roll. Right. That's all. I just want to make sure Chris is at least give him a couple of pansies. Like we're not gonna leave him with no bouquet. Okay, give him some flowers. Thank you. Okay.
Watch like next week will be Fessy and Chris in a hall brawl and Chris will win. Watch.
I'm like,
The one time that I'm hyping up Fessy and I'm wrong.
and the one time I'm not. That's terrible.
Oh man. But yeah, so Chris wins again. He's on a roll. Tyler goes home. And that's how this episode ended.
Mhm.
Yeah. The only other thing I have is the stuff that I'm kind of looking forward to for the next the next week. We see some drama in the house where Tori's asking who voted for her. It looks like Desi was crying a little bit. We saw what looks like a big argument between Michelle and Michaela that I'm excited for.
Yum.
Saw lots of surprised faces at the arena. So could that be TJ making his final announcement? Maybe, but perhaps
Could be.
And then also this daily challenge coming up next week looks pretty wild. It looks like very small tunnels, like they were in some weird little like catacomb situation or something.
Oh, I don't remember that. I don't
we'll
remember
see.
it.
We'll see how that goes. But
I don't know that either.
yeah.
As far as the next week is concerned, I'm certainly interested in looking to see if any steam is gained. Hold on, I made a little note of this. So Tori was the vet that was really, really big on pushing this elimination to be a guy's day to make sure that they can then in the back door next week now throw Michaela in. I'd like to see if that comes to fruition.
Yeah.
Does that seed germinate?
No, I'm very interested.
Watch this space.
Well, I'm excited. This has really been heating up. So, and I think that, this is going to be a really good final. I know we're going to lose a couple more people at least, but like,
How many
no
still do
matter
we have
who
left
ends
to
up
go?
in it. Well, I believe Kyler told us that it's going to be an 8-person final. So there's 12 in there. So I think we got to lose
Okay.
4. Well, we lost Tyler, so I think we got to lose 3 more.
Okay.
Now, I think there were
Yeah.
12 coming into this episode, and now I think there should be 11 left.
So we're not getting another double? Can we get some people out of here? Like, come on. Let's.
I mean,
I
it
don't
could be an
know.
elimination and a double, no? To even it out.
Could be.
I don't remember how many episodes are left. I'm doing a bad job of keeping track.
I think John said there were 14 altogether. What episode was this? 10?
Yeah.
I think this was 11. So
So
Next
it
would
could
be
be a
12.
regular, a double, and a final.
could be.
I'd like that.
We shall see. All right. Anybody have anything else? We're cutting it close here. So anybody have anything else for the benefit of the community before we sign off from this challenge stream?
I think that's all I got.
No, except that I think it's certainly noteworthy to talk about what is coming up, right? Because next.
Oh, well, of
Monday-
course, yes. Well, that yeah. I just meant for the challenge.
All right,
But
okay.
then I was gonna say, so what do we have coming up?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the segue.
Sorry, you do what you do. Let me get out of here.
So next Monday, right? We are actually we're gonna do 3 streams, right? Starting at 8:30
All
p.m.
right.
We're so busy.
Yeah. Next Monday, we are late to our Survivor coverage. We have to get on that. So next Monday, October 9th, we're going to be starting out at 8:30 p.m. talking about Survivor, right? The first 2 episodes of Survivor.
Yes.
Then we'll be talking about the Challenge USA Season 2 at 9:30 p.m. And then we'll be talking about Big Brother 25 at 10:30 p.m. All times Eastern. Okay?
Yes.
All times Eastern.
EST.
So next Monday is going to be very busy, very busy. And then other than that, next Thursday, we're going to have our usual coverage of Big Brother 25. That'll be at, what is that? Is that going to be at 10:15 next week?
No, I think 11:15. I think Big Brother is back to 9 o'clock on Thursdays.
Is it?
I
Okay.
do believe so.
It's so
Okay.
bad that we don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's bad that we don't know, but it also just shows the precedent that Big Brother takes in our
The schedule
lives,
is so
because
chaotic.
it doesn't
I know,
matter how
it's
chaotic it is, we know
ridiculous.
we're watching. Whatever
Yeah.
time it is, I will adjust my life.
Right,
So,
right.
like, yeah, that's really why we don't know. It's not that we don't care, it's just that it's everything. So
Right.
whatever.
So we'll figure it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I'll be there. But I do think it's
So-
9. I think it's 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's next week. I completely skipped over this week. So this week we still have 4 minutes from now, or approximately 4 minutes, probably more like 10 minutes. We have our coverage of this week so far in the Big Brother house. And then this Thursday, of course, we'll be doing Big Brother 25 as well. So hang out with us. You know, follow along on all these shows with us. We'd love to hear from everybody. Follow us on the socials at StratChatPod, including Blue Sky.
Hey, where the skies are blue and blue. Ooh, I wanted to say clear.
The skies are clue.
Ooh,
Oh man, we're already cracked. We're already cracked. We're already cracked. Yeah, give us a like, a comment, a subscription, and one of these. All right, everybody. We'll see you soon.
I missed that. It's been a long